I think the thing about Detective Parker that really grabbed me in the Stalker Part 2 is the fact that he's in it so little, but there's so much more story and character to him underneath. Because I think my inspiration when I was writing the script is Detective Parker and all the characters I write, like they're all human beings, and all humans are built up of different emotions, and everyone has different personalities and interests, and that's what makes us each unique. And we all come from different backgrounds, different backgrounds and upbringings, and I think that's the thing that really that I really like about the Detective Parker character. And like I think this script, I think it really fleshes his character out. It shows a different side of him that you haven't quite seen yet. That's not seen in part two. Um, and yeah, like I think that's the thing that I really like, or that's the thing that I try to do when I write any script I make, is I try to really flesh out the human side of my characters and really just try to make them as relatable and as like based in reality as possible, because to me that's what makes the best characters. And having Detective Parker, who is a father figure of sorts, I think that really opens the door to a lot of opportunities for his solo film. And when you see the film, you will know what I mean. And I think the way this connects into the other two Stalker films, it ties into it in a really interesting way. Where okay, I'll put it this way, where he has more involvement in these films than you would think. And I think that's another really interesting thing, is kind of going back before the first film and kind of fleshing out what the Stalker was before you actually met him in the first film, and seeing the evolved side of the Stalker character, and seeing, I guess, Detective Parker's path, to how he actually got attached to the Stalker's case and what he dealt with. I think these are all interesting questions that I bring up, and I think the answer to them, I think human, it's a very human response. And just like once again, that just goes back to his character. Um, Another thing I really like about this script is it's not so much a Stalker film. Yes, it's based off a character from the Stalker, but as far as having a film about the Stalker, killing people and all that, this isn't really so much about. This isn't really so much about all the blood and the gore and how violent and graphic I can get with the kills. I think that was fun in the first two films. Well, the second film in particular. Detective Parker is more of is more of a character story than a seeing how gruesome we can actually get. Like, can we shock the audience with with this scene, and focusing more on Detective Parker and kind of just really having him be front and center, since he's the titled character. That's what you see when you click on the film, is Detective Parker, a stalker story. And I think that's what's I think that was another thing that was really interesting, was having it like specifically based, and having there are a few side kills, but yeah, like they aren't really, they're all there because of a story, and to move along, to have a task for Detective Parker to really, because how can I say this? Like the more um I'm just wondering if I can say this. The more the more Detective Parker investigates the stalker's case, the more something happens. I'll put it that way. I won't get too much into that, but yeah, I think this is a great script. It's my favorite script that I've written by far. It's been the most challenging script, in the way where I have to connect before the events of part two and after the events of part two, and before the events of part one and the events during part one and part two, and I think all that is really interesting. Is connecting all this timeline together. I think it's a big responsibility, but I think it's a fun task. Is kind of looking at these middle and looking at the first film through a different lens. That's something that I really like to do, and as an aspiring writer, I always like to challenge myself. So yeah.